Welcome to the Glitch Report, your daily marketing botcast. Brought to you by Leadpages. Here are our hosts, Kai and Luna.
Today, we're going to be, diving into all things marketing.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. We're going to be catching you up on ad fatigue. We're going to be talking about SEO.
Right.
And then also some new things brewing over at Meta and Instagram.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's always something new. Right?
Always something new to keep us on our toes.
Exactly.
That's what makes it fun. Keeps it interesting, right?
For sure.
So, I wanted to start off by talking about something that has been bothering me a lot lately, which is, ad fatigue. Yeah. You know that feeling when you're scrolling through your phone or watching a video and you see the same ad like 8,000 times?
Yeah, the worst.
And it just makes you want to throw your phone across the room.
Yeah, you just want to not buy the thing, even if it's something you might be interested in.
Exactly. And it turns out it's not just me being crazy. There's actually data to back this up.
Well,
yeah, so a recent study surveyed over 2,000 adults in the U.S. And get this, 61% of them said that they are less likely to buy a product if they keep seeing the same ad for it over and over again.
Wow, 61%, that's huge.
It's a lot, so it's not just me.
No, it's definitely a thing.
It's a real thing. So I guess my question is, is there a magic number? How many times is too many when it comes to seeing the same ad?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I wish there was a simple answer, but unfortunately, it really depends on the brand, on the product, what platform you're seeing the ad on.
Right.
All of that plays into it. But I think it's safe to say that 2 or 3 times, that's probably pushing it.
Okay.
People don't want to feel like they're stuck in a loop.
Right.
They need some variety, some fresh content to, keep them engaged.
So what can brands do then? Besides just throwing a million different ads at the wall and seeing what sticks, is there a more strategic way to go about it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, testing is key, right? Trying out different frequencies, different messaging.
Okay.
Really understanding, what resonates with their target audience.
Right.
And then there's also, the creative aspect, right? How can they present their product or service in a way that's fresh and exciting and doesn't make people want to hit the skip ad button.
Right. Totally. Don't bore me, surprise me.
Exactly.
Okay, so speaking of things that can sometimes feel a little mysterious and maybe a bit repetitive.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Let's talk SEO, shall we?
Let's do it. Let's dive in.
All right. So for anyone who's ever felt like they're trying to navigate the world of SEO blindfolded.
It can feel that way for sure.
Yeah. And recently, John Mueller over at Google, he basically came out and said, hey, stop putting so much stock in all those third-party SEO metrics.
He did. It was like a bomb went off.
It was he burst everyone's bubble.
He did. He really did.
Because, all those tools that promise to unlock the secrets of the algorithm.
Right, there's some magic formula.
Exactly.
But it's just not that simple.
So were those tools lying to us this whole time?
Well, I wouldn't say lying, but they don't have access to the Google algorithm itself.
All right.
So they're making educated guesses at best.
Okay, that makes sense.
And Mueller's point was, instead of getting lost in the weeds of trying to outsmart Google, why not just focus on creating really great content?
Content that people actually want to read.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, that's what Google wants too. Right? To show people the best, most relevant and engaging content.
Right. It's all about the user experience.
Exactly. So it's not just about keywords and backlinks anymore.
So what you're saying is the best SEO strategy is actually just creating good content.
In a nutshell, yes. It's about providing value, building trust with your audience, and creating something that people actually want to consume.
Okay, so quality over quantity, authenticity over algorithm.
Now you're getting it.
I love it. So we've talked about ad fatigue, we've talked about SEO, and now I want to jump over to something completely different.
Right, hit me.
Meta, what are they up to these days?
Oh, Meta, always up to something. Well, one thing that caught my eye recently is that they're giving businesses more control over where their ads appear.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, which is huge, especially with all the concerns about brand safety and making sure your ads are appearing next to, content that aligns with your values.
Right. You don't want your ads showing up next to something, questionable.
Exactly. So this new feature actually lets businesses block their ads from appearing on certain Instagram and Facebook profiles.
Oh, wow. So they have a blacklist now.
Pretty much. It gives them more control over their ad placements, which I think is a really positive step.
I agree. I think that's a big win for brands.
Definitely. And speaking of Instagram, have you seen these new profile cards they're rolling out?
The like digital business cards.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a mini resume for your Instagram, with your bio, a QR code. You can even add a song now.
Oh, wow. So you can soundtrack your first impression.
Exactly.
That reminds me of this one time I was at a restaurant and they had a QR code on the menu. And it took me to a completely different menu. Like what? It was so bizarre.
Oh, no. The QR code fail. That's a classic.
I know, right? But I guess points for trying.
Exactly. And that's what I appreciate about Instagram. They're not afraid to, experiment, try new things.
True.
Even if they don't always hit the mark.
Right. Some things stick and some things, well...
fade into the internet abyss.
Exactly.
But hey, you never know until you try. Right.
Totally. Speaking of trying new things, weren't we reading something about Instagram testing out paid subscriptions for verified accounts?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. They're really going all in on this whole paid verification thing, huh?
I know. It's interesting because on the one hand, I get it. Like, they're a business. They need to make money. But then on the other hand, it does kind of make you wonder, like, what does it even mean to be verified anymore?
That's the million-dollar question, right? Because I think for a lot of people, that blue check mark used to represent something,
It did.
Like this account is run by an actual person or a legitimate business or, a public figure.
Exactly.
But now if anyone can just pay for it, does it hold the same weight?
I don't know. It's a good question. And like from a user's perspective, how do you even know who to trust anymore?
Right. It's tricky. Although Instagram's argument is that this could actually make the platform more trustworthy in the long run.
Really? How so?
So their logic is that by making people pay for verification, it creates a barrier to entry, right? Like those fake accounts and bots, they're less likely to shell out money for a subscription.
That makes sense.
So in theory, it could actually weed out some of the bad actors.
Huh. Interesting. So it's like a digital bouncer at the club?
Exactly. But, it's still early days, so we'll have to see how it all plays out.
I guess only time will tell. But it is interesting to see how all these platforms are grappling with this whole verification thing.
It's like a big social experiment.
It really is. And we're all just along for the ride.
Buckle up. But hey, that's the thing about the marketing world. It's always changing, always evolving.
True. Very true.
But, while we're talking about all these new trends and shiny objects, I think it's important to remember.
What's that?
Don't get so caught up in the hype that you lose sight of the fundamentals.
Oh, the fundamentals, right?
Yes. Like building a strong foundation for your marketing.
So what does that even mean? Like, what's a strong marketing foundation look like these days?
Well, for starters, it's about really understanding your audience.
Okay, your people.
Exactly. Knowing their needs, their pain points, what makes them tick.
Right.
And then once you have that understanding, crafting a message that resonates with them on a deeper level.
So it's not just about like shouting your message from the rooftops. It's about like whispering it in the right ear at the right time.
Now you're getting it. It's about building genuine connections. People can spot a marketing gimmick a mile away.
Totally.
But when you're authentic, when you actually care about your audience and the value you're providing.
It shows.
It does. So focus on those long-term relationships.
Not just transactions.
Exactly.
I love it. Solid advice.
Well, I'm glad you think so.
Okay, so to recap, don't get lost in the weeds. Focus on your audience, build genuine connections.
You got it.
And maybe throw in a little experimentation just for fun.
It's a little bit of spice never hurt anyone.
Exactly. You never know what might be the next big thing.
You never know. Maybe one of our listeners will be the one to invent it.
That's right. The next big marketing innovation could come from anywhere.
Exactly. So to all our listeners out there, keep those creative juices flowing.
And keep those marketing skills sharp.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure diving into the marketing world with you today.
Always a pleasure.
Until next time.
See you next time.